Okay, today we are going to be hooking up game backend. Well, we made new backend for it. This should be closer to what I want. We have a whole bunch of new ideas we can implement. It's not going to be so coding heavy, I think, today because it's mostly going to be about taking advantage of all of the code that I've been sometimes on stream, most times off stream. So we're going to take a look at our new, call it prototype. We have ourselves our new weapon system. No, this is, oh, wait. That's Scythe or Scythe prefab over. I don't know how this. Uh, I haven't tried it yet. We just basically redid the logic for how it's supposed to visualize and the behavior it's supposed to have, and put it on the object itself. I think I'm gonna put this on a handler on a game object outside of this, but I want to see what it's like on the object. We could save one game object. The idea. Hello, Nepal. How are you doing? Uh, Hope you're doing well and avoiding those Discordians. Bad. Uh, but we did set up our system now. We can do really cool things like with the abilities. So you go here. I've changed how this works. We still have a bunch of stuff that are similar to how it works with build abilities, but we have this nifty little thing, which is our queue system. So this is the abilities animation. Simply drag and drop whatever animation clip we have the weapon at this point. While the ability is firing off, we can get cues in here. So we can put like a small camera shake in right here, and we can set the exact moment that it should do the camera shake, like this, and so on. Of course, we won't be doing it this way. This is more for like spells, but I'm just putting it here for the sake of being able to see it. So this is tracking the time along when the animator is playing through, and I can activate these different effects. So let's add a different effect. Or actually, we need to make the effect. So where are they? So let's make a different cue. Um, just for an example of like the capabilities of this. Well, I won't really show them off until I think maybe later this tomorrow. Um, so we have presentation cues. So we can do like we could spawn the effect. Here, and we can just pick a game object that we want to spawn, and it will just instantiate it at that time, at the offset that we give it, give it a lifetime. We can select if we want it to appear for the AI also, or just the player. Uh, and there's other ones like camera zoom, where we want it to zoom to, all kinds of cool little things. Nicole is saying, dude, Discord is annoying. By the way, I'm messing around with uh, Baser JS and Cursor I. Familiar with those. All tutorials on genetic coding involve website. Ah, okay. Which is super boring. So I'm going to learn it by recreating endless zombie rampage. Cool, go for it. Okay. So let us now go on from this. So the game is functional, right? Like it's not going to give me hell something that not being right. There's tons of scripts that are in here that need to be uninhered. That makes sense. Let's just go back in and see what breaks. If nothing breaks, then we can go in with it. We can go forward with implement. Okay, nothing is breaking. So we don't have a weapon anymore. We don't have abilities anymore. We need to remake those. But our character at least moves around, still looks at the cursor, monsters won't spawn because changed all of that. Um, okay. Colors look so feels must be some maybe the sun is too bright or the color might need. Yeah, I think that's was just too intense. That's fine. It was just way too intense before, I think. So 1.5 is what? Okay, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and rehook in now. So we've changed. There's going to be a couple of things. First off, this little the goal of this really after for the next couple of days will be to eliminate certain things. So like this right here will be gone. Way of the dodo probably. Maybe we'll probably just keep just the stamina and the bars, but wounds and so on are definitely going to go the way of the dodo. Uh, I really like the whole thin bar though. Like I think it looks good, but I don't know. All right, next is we're going to go with represent. So you see how there are no elements down here. This actually looks fine by itself. I mess with. We can change the rules around a bit to maybe something more that we like. Might be going overkill with what. Double check. Manager. Okay, don't let me click it. Is the player? Oh, we do have. Okay, that's what's causing this. Gotcha. I didn't realize we had this global volume going. We have to adjust that. Something went off with the settings. Where is the UI? Did it, where the heck is the UI? Mouse object. Probably under managed. Yep, there it is. Okay, awesome. Okay, so do that look like? Let's get rid of this. Look. Let's move things around a little bit. I think that looks better. Let's see. How does that look? Good for it? Top left. I think top left actually suits it pretty well. Yeah, I think top left is pretty good for it. I'm going to adjust it a little bit further, but with the new system we're going to put in, I think top left might be a good place. We have to make it a little bit bigger so we can... Actually, no. We're okay. Just add a, we just zoomed. Okay. Yeah, I think top left is a good place for it. Okay. All right. Rampage. Thank you now. Moin Fulls. Hello, Moin. How are you doing? F4. Okay, so I guess that looks great was bar on the top left. Okay, we're good. All right, awesome stuff. Let's... Okay, yeah, I think I'm sold on it. For now, I'm sold on it. Interesting. What is it doing? I don't know. Ah, that's interesting. It's been a while since I've been messing. Whatever. All right. So let's go over here and get rid of... We don't need the wound panel anymore. We're going to be redoing a lot of that. But before we even get into that, let's just disable all of these. That way they're not calling stuff as... And let's hook back in. So the goal of this is now to get a weapon to show up when we enter. So when we enter the... Well, no. Before we do that, we need to make sure the player has stats. Right now, it doesn't. It's just doing its... So let's create a stat system to handle... Or a stat implementer to handle that. First thing, let's go back to our stat system. And first we created... I actually did off stream. We created under prototypes. We created a new stat system. It's pretty cool. So the idea is we have our stats right here. We have base stats, elements, and parameters. So our base stats are just pretty basic. You can probably set this to make 1,000. Let's set them all to 1. Okay, there. And these stats are basic stats. Effectively, they just feed into... They're the thing that feeds the rest of the other stats. Then we have parameters. So these are a little bit different. they're the ones that are fed information about like how they should work. We can do this for like, let's say you're not a programmer. I created this link system. So what should happen, we apply this stat. When we add this stat to a player or enemy, it will try to check the enemy's resonance and vitality stat, or the base stats over here, and then come up with a calculation based on a percentage of the resonance and vitality stat player. And it should do the same thing. So that's basically how this works. The max value. Okay. So okay, gotcha. All right, so let's go ahead now and so what we need to do is when close all of these other ones, open any now, close other tabs. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is find our entity script, which should exist at your level. Okay, so can we serialize it? Question. Get away with it. I think we can. Extracted it. Nothing inherits, I believe. So let's get rid of the entity. Serialize it. Now I'm doing this because I want to see what is displayed here, specifically with this stat manager. You can get away with just these. Oh, darn it. Okay. So you'll notice that we have two different stats. These are what you can consider to be like hard stats, or stats, and these are like running. So I will have, for example, health, and then the health stat will be imperial. You would have seen it being checked off here. There. You would have seen like my health stat right here. So you're gonna see that I have to have it right here checked off as which means that once this is added to my manager, the manager knows how to handle imperial stats. It'll create an imperial stat for it that will check against the maximum and the minimum of this stat. 1,000. Or rather, the maximum and minimum, where 0 is the minimum and whatever the stat's current value is the max. The stat itself, the health stat, this is its actual max. But this kind of two. One for the imperial, which is the actual value of health, and then one for health, which is the value from the asset. The cool thing about using an asset locator is I can also, like, if let's say I want to get health for H, I can do something like Atlas health, and I can get it that way also. That's what makes an asset locator super powerful. And yes, it does work everything, so I can do something like h dot max value, or get the exact value. Okay, let's keep going. We need to feed. Effectively, we need to feed this raw information, stuff that it should have. What we probably want to do is make a initializer for stat. Let's do that. There's a lot of things going on here in this class. It's not really this. There's like a broker system going on, but these are different classes. They're all just in the same. Okay, there. All right, so let's go ahead and get public line or public stack. Okay, so let's get all stats. So we can do this by doing var all stats, get all stat asset. And we can do okay. So that'll get us all of the stats that are in the game, be they inferior or not. And then the next thing that we can do, this is another beauty of using an asset locator. We can get all of the scriptable objects we about. Or prefabs, whatever. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create the runtime data for these. So, well, we don't have to do that. What we can do is just manager add. Actually, we want to keep doing this right. Oh no, we're not. Oh, okay, I see what it is. So we have to do this. And then we pass in the stat and initial value. So let's just say that we're going to start off with 100. And we have to pass in owner, manager, owner, I believe. Okay. So now we have a dilemma. This is basically going to give us all of our stats, and all of the stats are going to be set to that. So what we can do is say Ah, whoops. Yeah, still thinking GD script. Which? Oh, okay. I see what I did. We forgot to do something before we do this part. Supposed to update the database. Oh no, it is up to date. Oh no. Hold on, let's see. Alright, so let's just do it this way then. Health is going to be atlas dot hold again. That path health. Oh, stamina. Why are these things? Yeah, I haven't updated. I don't know how they ended up with that, with not doing it. Let's go update the data. I thought we I can set it to. It is set to auto update. Oh, what? Any issues? An issue. There we go. Interesting. Forgot to change this. So stupid. I think I like got distracted. Okay. Where are you? Let's go over here and make sure. Yeah. I'm gonna make a button for this that just does this. Yeah, it's annoying having to go back to do stuff that I thought I did already. Okay. Alright, now let's go. Rebuild. Everyone got rebuilt. 81 assets. So this is what it creates. This is just, it creates this code on its own after I tell it to recreate this. It assigns it a long, and we effectively can just find these things based on the long identity of it. Want to know how the sausage is made? Okay, Var, I think we have stamina is... Nope, okay. We do have sovereignty. Oh, that right. Fish. No, it's not. I don't know why I pronounce it with either. Sovereign. Sovereign. Yeah, it is pronounced with an I. Sovereignty. Sovereignty. Oh, sovereignty. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. We understand. Vitality, I recall, is one of resonance. What else? We can look here to see. Of course, Unity wants to think about things. So resonance, health, serenity, vitality, resonance. Luck. So the base stats and finesse. Okay, now for the parameters. So let's call the base. So we don't need parameters. What we do need are the elements. So we're going to just start all the elements off the same. Later on, we're going to have like a sheet of some sort that we can probably pass in here. That'll be the rules for how we apply stats. Right now, we just want all of them in, so that's what we care about. Okay, so as far as parameters go, we have Aether regeneration, critical chance. Have health. Be ready. Health. Move health down. Mystical and physical. This is the difference between this. This is how much magic damage you do. This is how much physical damage you do. Your crit should be pretty obvious. How fast your Aether just regenerates on its own. This is basically like generally for your different elements, how they handle regeneration. I'm going to just put the elements here. Okay. So now that we have this, we can fine-tune things a little bit. We know that, let's just set sovereignty to so we're going to set this to, let's try 5. 5 seems like a fair number. We should. Vitality. We're going to set this to resonance. I think resonance is I think resonance is tying into our mystical damage. That's what it is. So let's set this to 5. Luck doesn't matter that much. Oh, okay, good. So now these don't really matter much, but we're going to go ahead and add them. Let's set the initial stat points for this. Okay, so those sets up the initial stats. These are just magic numbers. Enemies and player alike, they'll all have the exact same number until we do that little extension that's going to live on, I guess, the player or the different enemies, and that's going to set up the initial values that these can. But this is just to get a feel what it is. For elements, we don't care too much thing, so we can just do element. Oh, right. Oh, whoops. Okay, good stuff. All right, so each element will just have 100. So in this game, the idea is when we hit something, we have to go through its elements first, in a way, right? So we kind of have the damage system set up a little bit. We're not getting into that, I think, but when you hit something, if you're using like a fire element based attack, you have to go through their fire. So it's basically your fire versus their fire first. If they don't have enough fire, then it goes through their other elements until you whittle them down. Once their elements are whittled down, then it goes into their health. And when their health hits 0, instead of dying, they take wounds, which lower their maximum health. Once their maximum health hits 0, that's when they die. So it's possible to knock somebody out, in other words, without killing them. Up to you if you want to finish your opponents off. But it's entirely possible to like overkill somebody or over damage or what we'll call it. But initialize is set. So what we do now with this is we can go over to that manager. Get the stat manager app. Stat manager. Stat manager. Where are you? Ah. Me there. So we can go into where we this thing. Yeah, there it is. Is just passing. Okay, there. So now we should have some stats. We're gonna see in the inspector if we can actually serialized it. I think we did. Yeah, we serialized. Let's see if we can um see anything. Yeah, there is magic and things like that, but everything in the game has elements. So even your regular weapons, if you're using like a scythe or whatnot, it's based on the element of the weapon that you're using, not so much like slashing damage. Those are like additional effects. So you can, for example, use a sword and then cause bleeding with that sword, but that's an effect that's on that sword. It's not uh it's not well, I mean it is because you're using a sword. Ultimately it plays out to be the same. All right, now we're going to check if we can actually see try to serialize. So we can serialize entity. You just show that tracker, that manager. Right. We need to go back to stat manager and somehow serialize the data. What did I name it? Serialized. Okay, so we do that. We remove. All right, next the element. Okay, add them where we remove them. Oh, okay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay. There you go. All right, now let's take a look. Should be able to serialize it, see what the stats are. Yep, there we go. Okay. Realization. What are you about? Oh, enemies are trying to spawn now. Okay, got it. Empty. Okay. That did not work out. So we have to pick to the next best. You. So this should be a good check to see if our... I need to turn off the spawner also. Um, rid of this. Would have been nice, but turn off the spawner because spawner isn't hooked in properly yet. But we'll figure that out. Now I just need to get a out on stats. Okay, awesome. So it is indeed initializing character there. We just need to find out why things are still running. So null reference exception. What are you trying? 979 on enable. Oh, base on. What is this thing? Behavior? Nope, it is. Okay, so okay. Am I reading this right? Oh, we don't have an event bus anymore. On after hurt and so instead of doing this, we're trying to do. So it should be Atlas. This is our new event system. Path. So on after we do damage. Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe update. Thing with the camera. Okay. I don't think these were even using iEvent data. It's okay. We can just do game event contact. Oh, it was using oops. So we need to thank you, Auto X. What key? Why is this even being? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh, I see. I get what I was doing. So basically, we wanted to do it. I mean, it's a janky way of handling that. So what we can do is instead, if Anywhere? I think damage info does. It does have it. Okay, so we can just pass in the damage. Okay, now we go back to over here. There we go. Pretty nifty, huh? Let's see. Meanwhile, for this, we don't really even do things. So this will just allow us to, if we do damage, to do it based on the weapon, we will increase our combo for the UI. But that was apparently needed. Hit camera shake. This shake in text also. Okay. Where else? There should be something crying somewhere. Two of them. There they are. So with our system, Nepal, if you're there, the way that it is, if I don't put this here, this will become like a listener for a broadcast of this, right? So anything can really speak to it at that point. If I put this, that means that we're listening for this instance of, or whatever the instance of this script is here. So only when this script calls on after damage will it say, okay, it's time to, well, not this script, but this instance, whatever is using this instance, it'll listen for that. So this is kind of like a event bus in and itself. But the good thing is I could do it programmatically like I'm doing right here, or I could do it from the inspector with just dragging and dropping. I wrote it for both cases. Hey, oh, really it's there so that way when I get back into other projects or anything like that, if I'm working with a team and maybe somebody just doesn't program, like they might know what they might not know type thing, they can just, same way like you see me do a whole bunch of stuff here just now where I'm like creating different elements, instead of making this programmatic, we just expose it here and you can just drag and drop these in. That's the idea of something like that, so on. So all of those events that you saw are all here. These are all of them. So I could just drag and drop these. Like, I don't think I've made any yet. Oh, I do. So like, let's say that we have an effect. So let's say that we have a different type of effect, because there's certain effects that can do. One of them that can and effect. Yeah, here it is. This is a new effect. Let's call this fire sword. Fire attack. Okay. So fire attack is going to want to apply a node. Now we can pass in the damage node here. This will just make it do some type of damage. Or let's say we also, because it's a fire attack, we want it to pass on burn. Oh, where are you? Right, so instead of just doing damage, it's supposed to do damage and it's supposed to inject another effect also. So let's call this burn. And burn, basically burn just wants to inject a or rather when burn gets added, this effect gets added. We're going to grab or rather, hold on, we should call this inject. What it does. Now we create the next effect here. Set another. And we can call this one burn. And so now the effect that this wants to pass in is burn. So now our fire attack injects burn, does damage on its own, and then inject burn will pass in the burn effect to something, but we don't know when, right? Like, when is it going to do that? So we can go to fire attack here, and we can get a game event. Okay, there we go. So now we can pass in the event. Oh, this is after the damage calculates. After damage. So now we can trigger, this is the trigger event, and we can tell it that we want it to trigger on my scope. So whoever is the person that's attacking is the person that's going to pass on this. This would trigger on the sender's scope. So we don't know who the sender is for, obviously. So we don't listen for that kind of thing. For this type of event, we wouldn't know who the sender is, right? And that's basically how it works. It'll just pass itself on to, it'll inject itself into the other person effects and then start doing burn periodically. We would have to, we can also apply conditions here. We haven't really written any condition up, but we can say like the thing that we do this to has to be airborne before we allow the effect to go through. So this is basically the combinator thing that I told you that I was going to be working on. Clear the collection. Oh. Okay, let's go back to work. Yep. So I should actually create like a separate folder for these because nodes are different. This is a damaged node. The code. Now this doesn't even know what element it is. So it borrows the element that we take from this. So we passed in fire element here. So now fire attack, fire element. Now all we have to do, if we wanted to, is we could go to the weapon and then drag and drop fire attack on the weapon, and now suddenly that weapon does a fire attack for this much damage. Injects burn on hit. You can see where it's going from there. So this avoids having to code up this every single time for every single. Now we can just drag and drop ice or water, and now it's a water element. Get what I mean? So in theory, in truth, this should actually just be this should just be yeah, no, actually it's correct. Damage node. All right, let's get back to work. All right. So we were still in the business of hooking these in, so that way we stop getting the null. Now let's try playing, see if we got rid of the null exception. Different null exception. Null reference, object reference. State. But it says that in awake state pass in the action. So what is it saying? F. Create one right. I don't know what. Nope, that's not what's null. Everything else is. What the heck? It could be null. What in the world could be null? There's only one thing here. Wait, that can't be null. There's state. I don't know. I think it's random, but you can change what you. There's like a command to change what you wear. I'll help you out a little. Well, you should be loaded actually. You could go buy new clothes and go to the wardrobe. Like you should have a ton of cash. Pretty sure you do. Okay. Maybe it's one of the injectors is crying foul. Check. The initialization. Oh, something is crying. Hey, Relly. Got tired of lurking? I'm trying to find what the heck is going on with this null exception. 980. Is it crying because it doesn't have a weapon? There's like a ton of stuff that we haven't set yet, but like crying something fierce about a null reference. Let's just comment this out and see. We just won't initialize the state machine. Well, we won't tell it to initialize the. Okay. So yeah, there's something going on there. The only thing I could think of is this changes states, which is going to change the state to initialization. Initialization, this. Then we do handle initially. So now it's possible that something in here is null. Game object. It itself can. No, it would cry elsewhere. What are you? All right, let's look at this. Okay, so we serialize these. So we can check to see if they have things. Not. Okay, so the sprite renderer doesn't get set. Gotta bring. No, we did. This is here. We didn't get any exceptions. You turn off the stat. We now believe and know. We trust in that our stats are being applied. Yeah. So the only thing that's left is this. Now it's not giving me a null reference. There we go. What's your null? Null reference object? I wish Unity would at least try to do like a get type and then tell me the type of thing that it's... Because you could easily do that, right? To get the thing that the signature expected. Pretty sure you could do that. It's already expensive to do debug, so it's like, at least give me that much. An enum cannot be null. State machine is not. Okay, so the hurt box is set. Sprite renderer doesn't get. Where do we set the sprite? Never. Okay, so maybe that's something that's here. A weapon visual. Target holder. Weapon. So nothing. Nothing is using this yet. So what are you crying? I did something. Unity doesn't want to tell me what it is. Yes. This is hilarious. Okay. Right, one more time. Indeed. Move. I can't do anything. I removed something from this. It was the weapon. No, I can't. I mean, it should be. It would have thrown in a wake if it wasn't. Like, the one thing I've learned with this state machine is never doubt it. Like, every time I've doubted it, I waste time in it, and then, like, I realize it wasn't the state machine. I just stopped doubting it. I've been using it forever. It worked. Like, there's something else is going on here. So we do this. So when we do add logic, let's check each. Well, game object cannot be, like, nothing here can be null. We're basically here checking to see if the, so this doesn't even deserve a check. We could check the entity definition. This might be null. This is a string. Doesn't matter. Do a register. This could be null. Doubt it. Because I think it's a struct. And then we go here, is the registration pattern. And this is a static, it can't be null. And all the dictionary, yeah, that's it. Okay, we're good. Let's try it now. And we got no hits, so none of the things along the way that we were checking for null are null. All right, let's do it the other way. This is how we program. Start getting incremental. find out where it's actually getting the hit. A little bit tricky. Let's not collapse it. We went to A. And then between A and B, got a hit. So here's the weird thing. We got a hit here. Like right here we got a hit. But how do we get... What the hell is going on here? I don't understand. Object reference not set to an instance of the object. Because it still ran through. Let me just... I'm going to turn off the all other things, basically the enemies and stuff like that. I think, where is that thing? Bounce manager, tile manager, audio, entity manager, update scheduler. Nope. Something handles spawning. Where are you? Enemies, probably. No, these are just like stuff for me to fool around. Where is the spawn manager? Oh, spawn manager, where art thou? Transition, async, tooltip, entity. Is it going to be entity manager? Is that what's handling it? Nah. No, no way. Input manager. Let's check entity manager. Oh, entity initializer is probably what's happening. Go here. No, this doesn't do... Hoping it was... let's check the entity manager. I think this is what's handling, telling the spawner to start doing stuff. You know what? We could just do it this way. Why are we doing logger? What do you think this is? Systems persistence. Mutant soft. Oh, oops, we're in the wrong. To ever enemy produce a stack so we can see what's spawning you. Been a while. I meant to mess with the spawner at some point. Okay, so we know that everything from here going up is the player. Yep, this is what's spawning it. Okay, warm enemies. Uh, so it's just on enable, register spawn point. There's something called a spawn point generator, mono behavior somewhere in the scene that is handling spawning. That's an interesting way to handle it. Okay. But we do know that this is definitely the player. And only the player. Even though all of them go through the exact same situation, only the player is throwing null. Why? It could be a racing issue. It could be a racing issue. In fact, be a racing issue. Okay, let's I'm beat up. I don't know exactly what's causing that. That is a bizarre issue. That is truly a weird situation to be in. Let's get rid of these. We're good enough now that we know that everything else is flowing. It's just something is going on here. Go to A, go into change state, and something is throwing null. Interesting. Gotta love this stuff. Um, okay. How can this grow? Initialize is a bool. Pretty entity. Literally checking this. Or routine. Checking to see. These two, nothing here can. So it's possible that the state machine isn't settling by the time we get here to unenable. That's possible. Ugh. This is just a static call to create an instance of a state machine. So how can this possibly... So it's super weird. It's behaving like we're doing an async operation. That's what's happening. And I'm starting to think maybe just restarting Unity. Because an enum can't be null. And it fails, but works anyway. But it still fails horribly. Super weird. Alright, I'm going to try restarting Unity. Oh, hold on. That is a weird one. Let's move on. We got hung up on it for a little bit too long. So what we want to do now is we got to pick up on stats. The next thing that we need to do is get it to pick up on its inventory. And then from the inventory weapon, we're going to just right away equip the scythe. That's the game plan. Do that. All right, looks like we're open. Give it a shot. Nope, did not fix it. We did get a ton of warnings. This is nice. Oh no, that's just the this thing that I put in earlier. Oh, it didn't save. Well, I'm expecting stuff like this to happen. I'm not too worried about it. Hello, Sharon. Relly says restart Unity. We're thinking alike. I still didn't. Okay, here we go. This is stuff that I want to see. So now it's just telling me that there's something that I must have deleted. It doesn't exist. What even called it? Entity manager. Got it. This is good. This is what happens when we so we can get here. Managers. Let's disable the entity. Go back. These are scripts that we can call legacy. So we're kind of just like figuring things out as we. Oh, wait. Did we ever get to G? We never get to G. Did we ever get to G? I think we just found out what the issue is. Okay, let's do this. Got rid of that. So originally we called generate weapon hand. But we don't have a weapon. So that could be what's throwing things. But regardless, I don't think we're getting to G. Let's try playing one more time and see. Okay. We don't get to G. Got an idea. So since it's happening somewhere over here, let's do it this way. We should have just done it this way from the very. right, let's try that out. Hopefully it'll help a little. Expect it to be complete. Aha, state machine was unsettled and unenabled. Why does it... What is going on here that all of a sudden the player specifically is going so fast that state machine is not settled yet? Okay, so since we now know what the issue is, let's settle it. Double check. Like, this is just happening way too early. Oh. Okay, let's try this. Okay, now we don't get any issues. Our game is just broken still. We have... There is like... Our camera is just borked. Player is there. And our inputs are completely borked also. All right. Let's do a little sample. Oh, have fun with some stars. Let's go back to this. Hmm. Okay. So we took care of the business of this thing working out. Let's let's... That is a super weird bug because we're creating a new instance of it right here. It's not like we're relying on it. It just happens quickly. So the next thing is so we need to get the camera and the input work. Find out how we... Let's go down to the level. Okay. So we get need to find out what's happening. Are we at a direct? It's not detecting me pressing a direct off the input manager. No, it's right here. Ah, neat. What is wrong with the input manager? Actually, we can assume, where is it? Actor. Event. So we can assume that we're just not calling something. We're not calling this. That's what it is. So we're getting lost in the sauce somewhere. Obviously we're getting past this. The entity is probably where we're getting stuck at, because we just turned off the entity. Let's turn that back on. We don't need this anymore, but it is what it is. Intro. Still bugged out. Oh, it bugged out, but or did we get here? Just need. We just need to know if move now or detecting our input. It is small victory. Nope, we are still not detecting inputs, and we never got. So whatever is happening, it can't detect the. Okay, so we never get. Ah. 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 So it creates an entity getting this. We need this act. And we need this to work. So the question is, where do these entities in a while? I think it's just making entity, create entity. Do something called player entity. Awesome. Let's just do this real quick. Get that. So the player get here. We run through awake. So my question is, are we getting here? I don't even remember that deep. But this is what happens when... Okay, so we are getting... Oh, now it's running. Okay, we are moving. All I had to do is put a debug in. Okay. Fair enough. Love it. Let's get out of here. Okay, so we now have a character that moves around, camera is fine, and we have stats again. So now we can move on to the weapon. So in this case, we want to make it so we immediately just equip the weapon. So let's go to the player script, give ourselves a weapon. If we've come this far into the player script, we should be at the part where we can... That's how we had it. This is the legacy version. We're going to do something similar. So first, let's get our weapon that we want to... weapon this time, and it's just going to be the Atlas path tests. Okay, and then from here we can just do or I think it's called, what did I call it? Equipment man? Call it equipment. What did I call you? I think I called it equipment man. Yep, there it is. Whip. Oh. Whip. An inf. And oh, done. Okay, there. So this should now equip us. Internally, what does this? Flops in. And it's going to apply the that's it. So we still need to do the visualization. So I did this lately. Yeah, okay. I don't think this will. Okay. Don't want to. It looks like we have to. Um. Why are you? Right. You cannot implicitly converting a photo. Hate me so. All right. Fair enough. Try that. Oh, was that why you were crying? It's not why you were crying. Eh. Let's see what you're actually saying. Cannot convert. Then, yes, we can. I just realized we can't even do it that way. This way. This one. Oh. Okay. Do it this way. Oh. Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. And then we just do equip. Now let's call this equip instead of, because the way that this was, now we have dictionaries of this. It's not gonna work. So I forgot what I was thinking when I made it. That's the problem with spacing out, coming back to developing cross lose track. I must have had some plan. Let's. So we were in the initializations. Instead of doing, we can do is s new info. But we just call it that. Okay. So now we should have the weapon equipped here. Later on, I guess I'll make it so that way the weapons inside of this equip call are hooked into visualization. I'm gonna make the visual our thing now. So we can just do this. Actually, we want to kind of not make. Okay. Next, we want to visualize it. That into. So we can just do something like this. And then we have an I guess not. Right. So instead we'll just do var mono ability. Okay, awesome. So now the next thing that we need to do act this this is going to be that's going to be handled elsewhere. First thing that we have to do is tell the ability manager about the new abilities it got because of this. To do that over in equip. So owner dot ability manager register. There it is. We probably shouldn't call it here, though. I think we should call it there eventually, but it's going to give us it. But we're just going to do it here. No, we can pass in the visual. There we go. So now the ability manager should just be taking care of everything dealing with the now. So I'm thinking we probably should throw this inside of equip. I just didn't want to worry about this thing. A little annoying. What would it take? So we would have to get this part. So we could technically just do this. And then oops, no. And go over to equip and this is why I didn't want to do it, because this should technically be working with all of them. Just though. There we go. Okay. Oh, all right, we're getting there. So now the equip button, or when we try to equip a weapon, it will do its so it will instance the visual. This thing still is off a little bit. Something is missing here. Hold on a second. There's something that should be here. Am I in the wrong place? Oh, I know why. I know why. I'm in the wrong place. We should be... Yeah, we should be looking at this thing. I think it's the ability manager that's going to be... So let's go look at the ability. This is an anime. But that's not the part that I'm looking for. Part that I'm... Gotta double check how... It... No. I don't see it. I don't see the driver. Unless it's a... Let's just double check mono game ability. I think it's in here. There has to be something inheriting mono game ability that's doing it. Get rid of it. There's something that's inheriting mono game ability. Fire Nova. Player. Yes. There'd be another one. Care of this. We'll see. If it's not working, we'll know right away. Then we'll just have to either find the thing that should be doing it or write it. One or the other. Okay, let's get into it. Okay. There it is. So object reference. All crying. Collapse all. Very first thing is... What are you crying about? The equipment manager is not... When do we set up the equipment? Set up the equipment. Never do. Okay, that'll solve quickly. Okay, now let's try it. All right. So we had an animation. So a couple things. We did spawn the scythe in. Where is it? Somewhere over here. Doing its thing. And somehow it got animated. I don't know how I Oh! Animations are... We need to destroy and remake the new... But, yeah, it's not doing the thing that it... Oh. That's a problem. It's supposed to... I believe it's supposed to be doing it in the visual. And visual is supposed to be the place that... Not the ability. Because it's not an ability, it's just what it does. That would fit under weapon vision. Like, let me look at this. Let's play it one more time. Okay, so... Yeah, there. This is what I'm looking for. My eyes are just not seeing. But it's the point. This. Actor. Oh, we forgot to do. So track is supposed to. It's trying to track. Gotcha. Hmm. Okay. So we don't need it to track the track to initialize what it tracks. So let's do that. Yeah, it was like right in front of me, but I couldn't see it. I don't know why. But we just forgot to put in the... Go back to... So we don't have a tracker, but we can just make another game object and just have that thing track it, then offset that. But we do have the offset on it anyway. So we'll see how this... But then after this, it will be just being able to attack again. trash. Animator. Oh, right. We need to. How do we do? Look at the end. I don't want to get rid of this yet. I need this as a reference for the. So good to just get rid of it. I think it creates itself. I think it creates itself. That's what it does. Like, I don't actually create this. There's something else. There's another object that just will create this once the item comes. And it's like reading the definition, how to do this off of that. Yeah, like it's setting up that attack. How do we? Let's go look at this thing. Yeah, let's go look at the prefab. Full scythe thread. These two things, not like. Alrighty then, scythe. What are you looking at? Okay, so we have ourselves the generic weapon thing was. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna create a. This one is intended again, but be far less stuff going on. A minute since I had to create an animator. Yeah. Okay, so the feel of this, we can start from just about any state, get an M. Call this one. Well, actually, what do we call it in? And then play A, play B. Yeah, I think that's basically. Are we doing it right? We'll see. Okay. Anything? 2, 3. Ah. Ah. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Play A, play B, play. Alrighty then, let's drag and drop this now onto our safe proper. Okay. So now this is going to present problems. We're going to see it first. We shouldn't have any animations. However, I believe I wrote it in a pass-by format, so it should just run and follow the player around. I've been following the player around to be. Let's just double check that. I haven't assigned the new animation sets yet. Well, we're going to throw a debug here because I'm not sure if this is running. All right. Exit. Going to those that run. Okay. We don't really care. Just need to see. Yep, there it is. Okay, perfect. So now it is following around. It's janky, but it is. Okay, so it is barely doing what it's supposed to be doing, but we are closer. Let's just see if we can fiddle around with it. Maybe we're just doing things quickly before we go messing with it programmatically. Okay, it is following. It's just very slow. As in, it is doing what it's supposed to be doing, but the rotations, the math of the rotations, and most of the stuff are just bad. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to turn with me, not. That's not. Yeah, it's bonked. Okay, fair enough. It wants to be on the right-hand side of me at all times. It should always want to just be where her back is. So, and these bells and whistles are doing it. But at least we know that this is working. Get rid of it. Okay. Let's do this the way that it was intended to be. I'm going to have player here. There you are. So we will create an empty game object. I don't believe it needs. We're going to call this the flap. Or actually, dual player reference. Oh, whoops. The player needs a reference. So we can call this folder. Okay. And I guess we'll put this here. I don't know where it is relative to the player. We're going to find that out. Let's see. And we just got to adjust it. Basically just seeing what looks good. Yeah, we need to put. Yeah, it's bad. Okay. So we're not going to use this. All. Because that's going to require its own script. We'll just use the and we'll work on this later. For now, we'll just be happy that it's at least showing. Next, we need to apply animation. So I didn't want to get rid of the animation. Kind of neat. Let's remember where. Let's go look for our. Okay. So we get our idle. So grab that and that clip. Set the crossfade duration. No, whatever. This. And then we'll give ourselves. Oh, we haven't made many. Okay. We're going to give ourselves combos. Hey, Moin. Yes, you are. Do a backflip. Not while I'm coding. Let's see. So here we actually pass in abilities, but we'll worry about that later. For now, let's just see if the idle works. Worry about idle for it. Oh. Ah, yeah. It's way out here. Living its best life somewhere really far. Is it so far? It should be follow the player. I don't get why it's... Yeah. Why don't you... There. I give you the chance. Did I not save? Oh, we did save. There we go. Okay. No animation. What do we get here? We get about behavior. Okay. These are all of the other animations. It's looking for them. Something is looking. Entity manager is trying to call. Data manager is trying to do this. It finds nothing. Reference script. 2. It tried to reach here. Oh, it's going through the skill tree. Yeah. Hey. We're not touching the skill tree today. We do have a whole bunch of these. This is just it saying, hey, your old backend doesn't work. Are you experiencing stress with programming? Because I do. Right now, no, not so much. It's pretty chill. You'll know when I'm stressing. Right now, I'm pretty chill, though. This is fine. You know what it is? I came into this expecting all hell to break loose, and it's kind of tame. This is what happens when you, like, break your system intentionally to make it from the ground up in certain areas. Like, it started with one thing, and then I said, oh, let's do the other thing, and then do the other thing, and then it just added up over time. So eventually you have to re-implement. It's a whole bunch of these little features that I did, and I was like, okay, all of these would be really nice if I put them together. So I'm just putting them together. This is still crying that the hash doesn't. Why do you think the hash doesn't exist? Trigger idle, play idle. Does the animation? It is playing the idle. It's just, it doesn't have anything in idle. Or it should have something in idle. It should have injected the animation to idle immediately. We shall see. It did not inject the... So let's go take a look at that. We can close skill tree out for now. Be back. So it's in the ability manager. Where are you? That. I think it's under ability. Ability manager. Alright, so when we register, it's supposed to inject the idle. All these different anime. Right? Just double check this. There should be injection happening. Yeah, and so we do this and override the amp. Let's just do a debug here. And over here. Okay, good. So we still need to deal with this nonsense. Oh. So this is just the old backend crying that it can't find things. Serialized object not creatable. We just need to find out where trying to serialize them. Okay, so we know we're getting here. And we know that we are setting the override. We might just have to delete. Yeah, let's just delete them. They're done the way of the dodo. Okay, let's see if that fixed our little issue. What's happening is on enable, it's doing a catch. Like, hey, nothing exists. problem is I don't know what these are. It's not leading me. You know what? We will delete this. Hit me with the next group. Okay. Oh, we need to all work. Should be working. This is not working. That. None of these work anymore. We don't have any prefabs in here. Get rid of this. Magic. Oh man, I think I hit the limit for today. Sure I did. And try to crunch one more thing out. If basically this is this. Oh, we forgot. So what is it calling? That trigger. Act. Play idle. Play A. See if we get our default animation working now. Well, what are you? Asset, weapon animator, any state, play a state. Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm gonna deal with this right now. It's kind of annoying. It's over here. We had game assets. Game date. Up here at the data object. Okay. Thing is looking addressable. That's this thing. Just need to get rid of that. What is using get on? Whatever it is needs to stop. Skill tree. And data object. 15 things are actor. This is going to create problems if I fix this. Now it's going to be a thing. Wait, am I right? Do it and see what breaks. Big one. Audio, we don't care. When we get to music again, we'll we can get rid of this. Regret. I don't even remember what the heck. I don't. I don't know what to tell. I forgot. Probably some helper doing. Oh, I think it was looking to create for a unique ID for all entities. Only one place is using. Seven places. Get rid of it. Get rid of just where it breaks. Go there. 7 more places. Member modifier private. Oh, oops. The new one. Scene transition. Haven't. Oh god. Like I said, I knew I was breaking a whole lot when I did. It's fine. We will be back. I think after I get rid of all of this, I'm gonna just call it for the day. I wish I could have gotten the animation going for this, but hey, that one was inconstant. You need to deal with all of this stuff. Yeah, I think progression SO was for the skill tree. I think what I'm looking at. We need to hit the entity manager scratch, like nerk the class. Yeah, we're calling it. This is too entangled. I need to, because here's the rub. Every creature that's created uses entity, and I had to disable the entity manager because entity manager uses old asset locator. So once you get rid of the old asset locator, things that were relying on it to like know how to do things, they start going crazy. And that's just a chain because entity manager is pretty big. Everything that it basically produces an entity and then says, hey, you are this kind of monster. You can have a race, you can have whatever, and then it produces that thing. And then it visualizes it at the actor, and you're fighting those things, or you are that thing, right? So the idea is you can have these entities in data, just roaming around the world as real things, but that comes back because if you change how you define them, the things that get defined by them start to cry like you. And yeah, I need to take a small break anyway. So have a wonderful day, folks. Yep, stay.